So this life as a handyman has been absolutely awesome, and I have loved it. Although not every second of every single day has been great. There's been a lot of hard times in this business, a lot of things that I've learned the hard way. And one of those biggest things that I've learned, if I had to say what's the most important thing that I learned in this business, is the power and the importance of saying no. It is very important and very powerful to learn to say no. When I grew up, it was kind of like I wanted to say yes to everything when I first started out in business. And I think a lot of new business owners want to do this as well, because at the end of the day, you're new in business, so you need the work. You need to get the work done. You need to make the money. So you feel like if you say no to something, you're turning down money that someone wants to give you. And why the heck would you do that? Well, at the end of the day, there's a lot of jobs out there. And a lot of those jobs are not your ideal jobs. There's a lot of people out there that are really just looking to take advantage of someone. They're looking to get something done for something super cheap, and they don't really care about you as a person. I've had many of these jobs. One big job that sticks out in particular is, I've talked about this a few times on this channel, is I worked for this one client on a mobile home, replacing the skirting all around the mobile home, and we tore the skirting off and found that there was a whole bunch of termite damage. It was absolutely horrible. And at the end of the day, kind of got run through the ringer on that job. But I've learned from that. And there's another instance that really stands out. There's a few kind of key points in my business that stand out in my brain that I just can't get rid of. There's one that is really important to me, and it was probably one of the first times that I ever said no to a client. This was probably, I would say, mid to late 2018. A client called me over to her house. I remember the exact little condominium complex that she lived in Carmichael, and she wanted me to do a whole bunch of work, because I did work. The way that she found me is I've done a bunch of work for this other lady that lives in that same condo complex, and this lady was just moving here. She moved here from Arizona, and she needed stuff kind of set up and this and that in her house. So she needed a bunch of pictures hung. She needed some coffee tables assembled, things like that. Well, one of the jobs was there was a ceiling fan that was up there. There was this ceiling fan that was up there. It was this old ceiling fan. I'm like, how old is this ceiling fan? Like, is this your ceiling fan? She's like, yeah, when I moved here from Arizona, I called a handyman and had him, install this ceiling fan. And she had a lot of choice words to say about this handyman, which is the first probably sign to watch out for. When customers start talking badly about other handyman, you definitely need to get your guard up a little bit. She said that she quickly got rid of this handyman because he made a whole lot of mistakes, and this fan that he had installed wobbles and all kinds of stuff. So she ran this fan on low for me, and sure enough, it was wobbling like crazy, and it was all kinds of nightmare. And it was like from the 70s. It had stained glass, glass topper on it. And she wanted me to take this fan down and fix it. And what I could see was the fan, blade holders were physically bent. And this thing was all messed up. And I think at this point, I didn't know that she came from Arizona. I'm like, okay, where did this fan come from? She says, oh, it was up in my house in Arizona, and it worked fine there. And she packed it up and put it in a U-Haul and shipped it over to Arizona, or shipped it to here to California from Arizona. And I'm like, well, that's why it is bent up, because it did not handle shipping very well. And she wanted me to take this fan down and fix it, and she wanted to pay me to do that. And I knew in the back of my head, there's no way that I can take this fan apart and unbend all of the little parts and get it to work correctly. I probably could, but it would take me 20 hours to do it, just because absolutely insane. Who knows if the motor's bent, what's going on here? So I told her, straight up, I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot fix that fan for you. And she says, no, you can. You're a handyman. I know you can do it. I trust you. And I'm like, I can't take this job on. I don't think this job is for me. I can handle all the other stuff, but I don't think I should handle this ceiling fan. She says, well, I want someone that can do everything. And she started to get more agitated and more agitated as I was telling her no, basically. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't repair fans. I'll install new ones every single day. At this point, with this fan being all wobbly-dobbly, I think it's just best if you go down to Home Depot and get yourself a new fan. I think you're going to be much better off and have a much better result when you do that. She says, I don't want a different fan. I want this fan because it's from blah, 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 and it means a lot to her. And I'm like, well, that's great that it means a lot to you, but it's bent. Like, and I don't want to put my name on something that I can't stand behind. I don't want to put my name on something that I can't guarantee that's going to be 100% good. If I install a new fan from Home Depot and it's broken, then I know that I could go to Home Depot, get that same fan and put that fan up, and I would do that for you because I want to stand behind the work that I do. If I go and repair this thing, I cannot stand behind it. So I ended up having to tell her like straight to her face, like right then at her house, like, hey friends, I wanted to interrupt this video real quick and let you know that I've created an Amazon store with a whole bunch of links to tools that I highly recommend and tools that we use every single day in our handyman business. And also, handyman business books. Books have been drastic to the growth of my business, and I would highly recommend that you check that out. So I will put a link in the description below where you can gain access to that Amazon store and see everything that I recommend. Also, I wanted to let you know that you can schedule a free consultation call with me over at handymanjourney.com/coaching. I look forward to talking with you soon. Let's get back to today's video. I'm sorry, I don't even know what her name was. Let's call her Karen, okay? Like, I'm sorry, Karen, like, I can't do this work for you. And in fact, I don't think I'm the handyman for you. I think you should probably call another handyman, and I think we should part ways right now because I don't think that this relationship is gonna work. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I hope you have a great day. And she was so mad at me. She cussed me out like some words that I'd never even heard of. Words from Arizona, you know what I mean? But it's just like, absolutely crazy. But I learned a lot that day. I learned that it is very important to say no. It's very important to stand behind your values. Don't forsake your values just because someone else is trying to pressure you into a job. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that today and what that means as a business owner. That it's very important to say no. It's very important to, know where your limits are and focus on what you can do. Like, at the end of the day, we can't fix everything. We can fix what we can fix, and that's it. And if the client doesn't necessarily like that, then they're just going to have to deal with it. That's their problem. We are honest about what we can do. We are honest what we can't do. And some stuff we can't fix, and we're sorry about that. But at the end of the day, we can't help out every single client out there. And I think one of the biggest things that is scary for a lot of people saying no to people because they're like, well, if I say no to this client, how do I get other clients? Like, what if this client tells other people? And what if I can't get any other clients? At the end of the day, one thing that I really learned in business is that there's so many clients out there. And there's so many different, you could say, classes of clients. There's so many different levels of clients, right? There are clients who will get pissed at you for saying no. And then there's clients out there that will completely understand when you say no, and they will appreciate